Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Joy of Life Challenge. So, I know you're all wondering what the actual F is going on here. What happened to this place? Why is it so trashed? And well, I kind of have an answer for you, I guess. So, it is 4 in the morning, and Connor is up. I would say bright and early because he has been up the whole night. And right now, you just see him watching sports. And what has actually happened is Conor has been very upset about the fight he has had with Laura. He has been not taking good care of himself. As you can see, he was really upset. This stuff has been piling up over the past couple of weeks here. So yeah, he's been drinking a little bit. He's been looking at past pictures and at past videos of them, and he's been watching them on the TV, like videos of when his wife was still around. And then he got very sentimental, and it got very late. It's 5 in the morning, and it's slowly becoming dawn. And he's still up, and he really needs to get this together because he does have something very important to do today. So the sole reason why we are playing with Conor today is because I thought this was needed. I thought this was kind of very important for the context of the story, just to kind of see where it goes. And as he is one very heavily involved character, I really did think that he deserves his own episode. So what I find interesting is that he wants to actually have a child and be friendly with Laura, even though they had this fight pretty recently. It's been a couple of days since then, but he's still very sour about it. Still, he does want to be friendly with her and he does want to text her. But as you all know, she has said some things that have really hurt him during the incident, so he's kind of refraining from texting her, which is obviously not his usual behavior. So he is thinking to himself, well, I have to clean this up, it's early, I've been up the whole night. But he doesn't want to throw his beer away because there's still some left. And he also still has all the food from Thanksgiving, so we are gonna put the beer in the fridge for now. As you can see, he also hasn't cleaned up the games they've had on the table for Thanksgiving. He's just put them in a corner. He has some boxes here with old memories, some old records they used to listen to when Laura was still younger. We also still have some dirty plates around from Thanksgiving, so even though they did clean up, as you saw in the Thanksgiving episode, he still has some stuff in here and the trash can is actually overloaded, so yeah, he really hasn't been taking care of this place. At some point he has fallen asleep on the couch, but then he woke up at like, I would say 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something like that, because his dreams have been really restless. He has been dreaming about a lot of stuff that's been going on, and eventually he just woke up, so he turned on the TV again, and you know how it went. Despite actually feeling pretty confident and pretty good, he certainly does know that he has to clean this place up, especially since later this day someone is going to come visit him, which we will get into later. So we kind of have to clean everything up. Here's a plate, let's just put it there for now. I think he's just going to clean up as much as necessary. For example, I think those letters and those old images he's just going to put into a cabinet. Just any, he doesn't even know if they used to be there. He's just going to put them there so they're not outside anymore. So he has cleaned up most of the stuff now. Most of the stuff is just in random cabinets. And it's actually snowing outside, I think. Hold on, let me check. Yes, it's snowing outside. It's so nice. So it is the first day of winter. And I just wanted to mention that, like, time is passing. But he does need something for breakfast. Let's just get a glass of water first to kind of sober up. We also need to head to bed for quite a while because, as I said, later this day something's going to happen. And actually, Conor has met a woman on Social Bunny and they've been chatting for a while, and her name is Cheryl. So they both don't know all that much about each other, but Conor definitely thinks that she's attractive. They kind of get along and they want to see where things go. Something you don't know yet, but I do, is that Cheryl looks suspiciously close to Laura's mother, if you ask me. And maybe he's onto something with that, trying to fill a certain role. I won't get too deep into that just now, just a little heads up. But yeah, they've been chatting for a while. They've got along pretty okay, and as you know, he does have the big happy family aspiration. He's also kind of thinking about children, and he's freezing. So yeah, if that's the right thing for him to do at this point in his life, and in the state that he and with the state that he's in right now, I certainly don't know. I think he has figured I think he has figured that out for himself. I also think that it's kind of ironic how he forbids Laura to meet people, but then again, he's using social bunny himself to meet new people. So it's a little later, Conor has been sleeping, and Laura's actually calling us. I was going to go around to a new nectaries and do some tastings. Do you care to join me? I'm thinking of starting around 2 p.m. So Laura is actually the first one reaching out at this point, because as I said, a few days have passed without any of them calling each other or texting. As you know, it's very unusual for both of them. So this is kind of something huge. I personally don't think that she's inviting her dad to drink with her. So I'm also think that she maybe awkwardly sent him a picture of a new drink in the supermarket or whatever, like an energy drink, and her dad mistook it for something alcoholic, and that reminded him of the stuff that's in his fridge. So I think he's going to reply a little sour. He's like, sorry, I don't drink alcohol. And Laura's like, that's not really alcohol, And then their chat ends, and no one says anything anymore, so there's definitely some awkward silence there. Something I also didn't mention yet is that Valentine's mother, the mother of the family that was invited to her Thanksgiving potluck, she has actually reached out to Conor and asked, because Laura's food was so delicious at the potluck, she actually reached out to Conor and asked if maybe he could ask Laura to bake something for an upcoming birthday of one of her children, of the little girl. And Conor was like, I'm sorry, me and Laura, we're kind of at an awkward stage right now. We don't talk that much. He was kind of embarrassed to admit it. So he just gave the mother Laura's number, and yeah, we will see how that goes in the next episode. But yeah, just a little heads up, she's texting again. She'd like to come over and hang out. I certainly don't think she's actually texting him that. I do think that she's still upset, but I also feel like she's trying to have a little talk with him because she knows that it's important to talk about her problems so that they can both work on them and on the incident. So maybe she's asking, hey, do you maybe want to hang out later? We can kind of talk about what happened. But her dad's sleeping, so he doesn't see the message, and then when he sees the message, it's way too late. He's also pretty hungover, and I don't think he would like his daughter to seem that way, but he is also pretty hungry, so we need to get him some food. I think he would refrain from eating the food Laura made for Thanksgiving just out of spite. So instead of eating all the baked goods she has made and left at his place, I think he's just going to eat the white cake because one of the neighbors made it. And we don't have anything else in the fridge, but I honestly also don't think that he would feel like cooking or baking something right now. He actually wants to offer some generosity and eat food. So we can actually text Cheryl again. We can kind of send her a text, maybe tell her our address so she has the right place to come this evening. I think they're going to meet up around 6 maybe, and then they're just going to go to his place, so he's sending her the address. I think he also still needs to make some preparations for the date this evening, so he is going to head to the supermarket. So he's going to take a little stroll there, get something to drink, maybe some champagne or something like that, and we'll see how it goes. So we're back from the supermarket. We've already bought some champagne for later. It's excellent quality. We're also going to make some pasta, I think. He also bought some noodles for that. And we've actually stopped by the graveyard because the supermarket was pretty close, and he hasn't been here all that often ever since the funeral of his wife. But now he just kind of stopped by, and he couldn't help but think about her. And he did feel a little guilty because he was going to the supermarket to buy something for someone new he was seeing. And then he went by the graveyard and walked by, and some guilt's just overcoming him. So he is going to kind of grieve her really quick. He is going to say, "Hi, how are you? I hope I haven't been gone for too long." And he doesn't have any flowers with him or anything he could give her. And he's just feeling bad about it. He's feeling very bad about it. So bad that he's just sitting in the snow and just kind of crying. And at this point, it shows that he just really doesn't know what to do, and he's feeling stuck, and he's just overwhelmed with his emotions that are overcoming him right now, with the stuff that's been going on lately, with the fight he had with Laura. And he just wishes it was different, but he doesn't quite know how to do that yet. So he just kind of suppressed his feelings as he noticed that some people were walking by also to grieve their relatives. But yeah, he just kind of repressed all those feelings. For a moment he was even happy. Now he's just back to his neutral state. And so yeah, I do think that this is a little bit embarrassing for him. So he's going to just be like, "Okay, I'll miss you. I'll come back sometime. I don't know when exactly. Take care of yourself." And yeah, he's just leaving the graveyard. And as it is getting pretty late, he's actually going to head back to his home. And can we just talk about like the revamp of the goth house? It looks so good in this save file. If you wanna grab the save file, it's the ultimate save by Plum Up Kingdom. So he has arrived back at home. We're going to prepare some of the pasta, but first off he really has to change because his pants have gotten kind of red from sitting in the snow for so long, so he needs to change those. Thankfully he could cover the snow stain with his jacket, but yeah, it's kind of embarrassing for him. So let's just change into what could he be wearing for the date. I think he's going to wear something casual because he doesn't really have anything long sleeve. See, the sleeves are even rolled up, so when it gets colder, he can just roll them down and it's not going to be a big issue or whatever. Okay, we don't have the recipe for pasta yet, so we're just going to make some vegetable dumplings. Let's make a family size. And I know you're probably wondering, Connor, why the hell would you buy some alcohol for your date if you have a hangover from being up all night and drinking beer in front of your TV? And you're totally right about that, and I totally agree. But to be honest, I think he would drink some more. He tried to sober up this morning, so it's not like he's trying to utterly get drunk. But I feel like his idea of an ideal first date is having some champagne, a laid back atmosphere at home. Even though he knows that this is not good for his body and definitely not recommended, I feel like he doesn't want to give up on that idea because I feel like he would still drink some more alcohol even though he has a hangover, just because he wants to seem like that chill guy that like has some champagne and you can just talk for hours. So I feel like he would totally sacrifice his health in that case, which is totally not good. Oh, the vegetable dumplings are actually poor quality. Oh my god. Let's hope no one notices. But yeah, I do feel like he is very set on his ideals as to what a guy should be like, or also what a father should be like, just what a certain role should be like. Let's just put it like this, I feel like he's very concerned about what other people think of him and how other people perceive him. So Cheryl's actually texting us right now. She's like, hey, so I'm nearly there. This is the right address, right? They're just kind of checking if all of the info is correct and stuff. And yay, Cheryl Weller will be right over. So she's going to be there very soon. So she's actually already here. Connor's just going to let her in. Connor's like, hi, how are you? I hope the drive here wasn't too much of a hassle with all the snow. And Cheryl's like, no, it wasn't at all. It was actually pretty fine, you know. It wasn't that long of a drive. And they're just kind of doing some small talk. So he's kind of complimenting her outfit, saying that, I don't know, those jeans look very nice. And she's like, yeah, your shirt also looks very nice. I really like the buttons. And he's like, yeah, so let me show you the house. And Cheryl is kind of passing by and noticing this little mess here. She's actually asking him like, oh, your house looks really nice. I think you forgot to put away some stuff back there in the living room. And he's like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot that. I'm so sorry. So anyway, let's bring some light into this house, shall we? So he has turned on the light switch and they're just going to sit down. Let's just sit here. And she's like, oh, I see you made some food. That looks awesome. And you also have some champagne here. And he's like, yeah, I kind of prepared some stuff, you know. I wanted to make this a nice time for the both of us. So they're just going to grab some of the dumplings. And Cher's like, oh, I've never actually eaten those. Is this a new recipe? Is this what they are supposed to taste like? And he's like, oh, well, I don't know what you mean exactly, but I think they're supposed to taste like this. And she's like, oh, well, if that's the case, that's awesome. Because she doesn't really like the food. So she's like, geez, I'm freezing in here. And he's like, oh, yeah, right, let me turn on the thermostat maybe. So let's just get to know her a little bit while we turn on the thermostat. She's not looking too happy, actually. Well, I think she's fine. I think she's just a little cold. So he's like, yeah, so what do you do? Do you have any hobbies, any interests? Again, I'm really sorry about the weather. And she's like, oh, it's totally fine. I mean, you can't control the weather, you know? She's like, yeah, it's actually good now that you turn on the thermostat. And he is complimenting her, as you can see, but he's also constantly checking his phone, which is kind of throwing her off. So she's like, who are you texting with while we're, you know, hanging out on a date? And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm checking if my daughter has texted me, you know, we haven't been texting in a while. And she's like, oh, well, I don't have kids, but I'm sure it must be a hassle. And he's like, well, that's fine. Do you want to drink some champagne? And she's like, yeah, sure, let's drink some. She's like, damn, that's good. What brand is this? And he's like, yeah, it's the, you know, kind of expensive supermarket brand. He's kind of trying to risk her up. Oh, what's this? He's like, I'm sorry, I have to use the toilet. He does need to use the toilet, but suddenly he's also very uncomfortable by something else, which is interesting. Unpleasant aura from generous sim talking with a mean or evil sim. Oh my god, does she have the mean or evil trait? Conor tries to see the best in everyone, but these vibes are just not it. Okay, so he's sensing some bad vibes. That's interesting. Cheryl, what are you hiding from us? So she's just kind of waiting for him to come back, and he is. And maybe we should do some puzzles. Okay, I think we're not going to puzzle, but I think they're just going to watch a romance movie or something like that. Let's just turn off the light in the dining area. And she's complaining a lot. She's like, you know, I wouldn't mind if you would like put some of the stuff away here. And he's like, no, it's fine. That's because he doesn't want to open the cabinets, because he knows that if he opens the cabinets, all of the stuff he just pushed in there earlier is going to drop out, and she's going to see that, and she's not going to have a good impression, so she's just gonna leave the stuff as it is. and she's kind of not vibing with that idea. She's like, I actually don't like that movie, you know? And he's like, oh, okay, well, do you like something else then? And she's like, no, I guess I'm just, it's getting pretty late, you know, I think I should get going. And then she's just leaving, and Connor's kind of like, okay, what? That was weird. But he's still watching the movie. So he's not going after her, he's not asking what's going on, but she's just leaving. And she's already gone. So it's a very weird kind of situation. And now it's about the same time that he pulled out all the tapes and stuff yesterday, so that's really interesting. I certainly hope this doesn't end in another hangover. But yeah, he's just kind of wondering what that was, because they were actually getting along really well on Social Bunny. So yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. He's maybe going to text her like, hey, is everything alright? Was there something wrong I said? But she's just ghosting him, and there's no response, and he's like, well, maybe I was right about the aura she gave me. So yeah, he's not feeling his best. He is confident, but he's also kind of crying, you see. He's getting very emotional by the movie. It just reminds him of stuff again, you know? He was, from the very beginning, he was like, okay, it's not a good idea to drink, it's not a good idea to watch those romance movies. But that was with someone else. And now he's on his own again, drunk and watching romance movies. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed. If there is anything you have on your mind concerning Conor or anything else, feel free to comment on this. I certainly do think that this episode revealed us a lot of insight into his daily life, into his struggles, and yeah, if you have anything to say to that, please do. I would be so happy if I saw a comment that engaged in his personal life. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. I love you. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.